as we deploy more infrastructure internally to support our AI use cases, we actually are sharing that experience with our customers. Engineers aren't just talking theoretically about what they can use and what's good and what's bad. They're really able to solve those real world work cases.
Hey, it's Patrick Moorhead, and we are back here, 6.5 on the road, HPE Discover 2026 in our home of homes, Las Vegas, Nevada, for analysts. Been a great show so far, looking at the full stack, taking enterprises from experimentation to, deployment to scaling enterprise and agentic AI.
Yeah, well, that's the edict right now coming down from every CEO. You got CIOs trying to make trying to make their boards and their leadership happy. At the same time, they're trying to find efficiencies. They're trying to, gain that productivity. And of course, they're trying to contain cost, doing all of this, by the way, while being governed by being secure, being sovereign, being compliant. Because as we know, in the big data era, the digital transformation era, not everybody had their estate in order to do that. And AI just exacerbated that so much.
No, it really did. And oh, by the way, you missed one, which is get me out of all of my enterprise SaaS apps in a week.
Yeah.
Because you can vibe code everything. Anyways, let's actually get to the professionals here. Yeah, exactly. Hashim, CIO at AMD, great to see you. Fidelma, welcome back to the 6.5. It's great to have both of you here.
Great to be here again.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so Fidelma, I'm going to start with you. We talked off air, like 17 jobs here. You lead hybrid cloud. You also are CTO of the company. So there's a lot of the stuff that's happening here you've known about, you've been working deeply on. But, as you reflected on this week, what are the overall technology shifts you're so excited about? And why are these shifts so important to your customers?
Yeah, I think, this is a transformation unlike anything we've seen before with AI. And, we started with ChatGPT and then we have OpenClaw. And I think OpenClaw has really actually activated across the enterprise. Like people can now see, oh, this is what it can do for me. And so I think that's one important thing. I think the other piece as we move forward is, in computing, what do we do with quantum as we go forward? And how does that play into the game, into the long game of how you're transforming? But today, I think we're in the early innings of AI. I think this is a rollout that's going to move very quickly, but it's really going to transform how everybody operates, how everybody does their work, and make businesses more competitive. So that's what I see.
Yeah. So, Hashim, you were on stage today with Fidelma, essentially talking about my intro, which is taking them down, taking your enterprises and other enterprises together down the line from experimentation to high volume deployed applications. How are the two of you, how are you working with HPE to accelerate this curve, right? You've been partners forever,
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
CPU partners forever, infrastructure partners. I was actually at AMD for 11 years. I hired the first Opteron product manager. It was a long time ago.
Excellent.
But how are the two of you accelerating in this new generation of agentic AI?
Sure. Let me give you my view on this one, right? You said it, that we have been partners for a long time. But if you look at broader enterprise AI deployment, what do we need? We need at data center layer, very, very good servers. We need very good networking. We need security. And then you build on top of that for data layer.
Right.
Only then LLMs and other things come in.
Exactly.
These 4 layers, we get all of that with HPE. And we have a great partner. So we have expanded our partnership. We have expanded our relationship. And we just want to make sure that every layer of that deployment that is needed for AI success, we are partnered very well together. So that's only on the hardware side. And then you put on top of that software stack, they have GreenLake and the virtualization software that I talked about in the morning. It's just very natural for anybody deploying AI at a large scale to be partnered with HPE. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I think having these partnerships that have lasted over a number of decades, actually in times like this helps you go faster because you can you can have valid debates, you can get to agreements or disagreements, and what we do a lot of is these guys test our stuff and we test their stuff early on in the cycle so that we can give feedback and we can move more rapidly. And I think all of that just comes from the time, it's hard to do that with a new partner. It's really easy to do it with someone you've known for a long time.
It is. And it's funny, just like a relationship. I mean, it hasn't always been like up into the moon. There have been challenges, but that's what makes relationships work at the end of the day. And, as an analyst, I always need to watch what I say, but you guys have been an execution machine for years, going on a decade now.
Yes.
Congratulations. And it makes it a lot easier to do stuff with a partner with a good execution record.
Absolutely.
I want to hit both of you at this one. I'll start with you, Fidelma, but we've talked a lot about kind of experimentation to enterprise-wide.
Yep.
You're sort of involved in overseeing it within HPE. Of course, you've got the whole hybrid business, and you're customer facing. You got customer, like AMD. Where do you think enterprises really are? How do you dot plot that across the journey?
I would say last year, what we saw was a lot of experimentation, a lot of kind of throwing darts at the dartboard to see what would stick.
Yeah.
A lot of shadow AI projects. And what we've seen over the past year, and we can kind of measure some of it through the adoption and the discussions we have on private cloud AI, because that's really enterprise focused, inference focused. And what we've seen over the past year, people are more thoughtful now about what use cases they're going to go after first. And then the second piece is making sure they have a really tangible ROI, and they continue to measure it. And we have exactly the same thing going on with us. And so that's actually what makes this is so great, is as we deploy more infrastructure internally to support our AI use cases, we actually are sharing that experience with our customers, and they're gaining from it, because this is an interesting time where the engineers who are building the products, and usually we build the products and we don't really use them. We use them in IT, but we don't use them in engineering. Here in engineering, we're building the products and using it to now run new tools like coding tools to help them be more effective. And that is it's really good for customers, because engineers aren't just talking theoretically about what they can use and what's good and what's bad. They're really able to solve those real world work cases. So I would say in terms of the enterprise, we're seeing increasing adoption. Some regions are slower. Okay. So I would say in Europe, we're seeing like more cautious adoption versus North America. And a lot of this is around sovereignty, compliance. How do I get my data ready, and making sure that they're really thoughtful about where they apply technology in these use cases.
Great point. And I mean, Ashbrook, you are in the middle of one of the, just like HPE, a company that's involved in revolutionizing the data center, the enterprise, and AI, but you're also a CIO. I'm betting, a certain responsibility for how this gets deployed internally.
Yes.
So give us the kind of inside lens a little bit here.
We started putting together our strategy in early 24. How are we going to adopt AI inside of the company? And, we initially, at that time, the conversation was more about assist tools, what we call chatbots or other agents that you could think of. But we took a longer term view. So we said, AI adoption will move from assist to action to automate to autonomous. And now we are deploying AI for building autonomous system to solve complex workflows that we have inside the company, be it inside the chip design, be it inside the coding, be it inside the supply chain, or any other workflow that you could think of that consumes a lot of time and then has a lot of workflow associated with it. That's a sweet spot for AI, and then you can go and start harvesting very, very quickly. So that's where.
So I want to get that.
Yeah.
4 A's. Assist,
4 A's.
Action, automate,
And autonomous.
autonomous.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay.
And as you go through, agents are all over. So
I just wanted to add an A.
and as you build autonomous system, you need real good quality data. You need real good quality compute, and for that, you have to make sure that you have done your groundwork and you have put a strategy of execution that aligns with what you want at application layer.
I thought he was going to say you need a bunch of Helios racks.
Exactly. No, but speaking of that, I mean, you've scaled. I mean, in 9 years, you went 0% market share in server CPUs to 46%.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Pretty good.
And you're just about to roll out your first scale up platform
Absolutely.
with some amazing networking inside, I've heard.
Courtesy of Juniper.
Absolutely.
Exactly. I mean, and but scaling a company is tough, right? You've got new people, you have new processes. How are you working with HPE to help you scale the company? And I'm sure you're not done yet. You're not going to stop growing anytime soon.
We believe we are in the second inning of AI adoption, and how other enterprises will follow the AI adoption path that you are doing, right? Scale is a very important term inside of the company. And especially as there are more realizations that are happening in the marketplace. At some point of time, it was all about GPUs. And people realize, nope, you need really CPUs to be able to do that. And then...
Yeah, but I thought we didn't need any CPUs.
Exactly. Exactly. Then that narrative has changed. Storage. We don't talk much about the storage.
Right.
Unless you have a fast connection to a fast storage,
That's right.
These GPU and CPUs become highly inefficient. So you need that entire stack of ecosystem to make those agents or LLMs work. And that's where our partnership has blossomed. And I do believe that it will continue to grow because the CPU deployments are going to accelerate.
Right.
We are a great partner on CPU deployment. And GPU deployments, you saw the rack scale that you're talking about, Helios is there. But in between that, there's another concept that is going to take a big stage over the year. Next year, we will talk about that how enterprises are transitioning from tokens consumer to token generator.
Yes.
And in their boxes, you will find our PCI-based cards, 350p that we have announced, and then their future generations. An IT guy can open that, put it in, and you become token generator right there inside your data center. We have been deploying that inside of AMD. I have partnered with many of my CIOs, colleagues who are experimenting and deploying that inside the...
But this is an economic thing, right? It's economic.
And not only economic, it's also a security thing.
Okay.
There are many of our customers who don't want data to leave their premises. Well, you can generate the tokens right there. You can keep the data right there and get the full value of the tokens that you need.
Yeah, the maths are mathing. I think we were talking to Jennifer Temple about this, and I said we went 2 months from token maxing to token optimizing.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And so you're talking now about token generating, and then from token consuming. But what we're really talking about is your peer, your buddy, the CFO, is starting to ask questions about.
Oh, yes.
Already.
About I see all this excitement, but in this process of telling everybody to use AI like crazy, it was all in the cloud. It was all frontier.
Absolutely.
And by the way, it was all subsidized, and it was still getting really expensive. And just imagine when all of a sudden we actually start paying what an Anthropic actually needs to charge you to be profitable.
Yeah.
So it's, by the way, great for both of you because we're going to need a whole bunch more.
Well, I mean, I think one of the things we've always said the world is hybrid, and this I think is the fastest realization in a transition where not just for compliance, not just for sovereignty, not just for data competitiveness, because I do think data is, even though you may not want it compliant or you may not be a sovereign, sometimes you just don't want it to go to the cloud to train something else.
Right.
And now the on-prem economics are coming to the fore here.
Yeah.
And the easier we make it for customers to do that, because otherwise you got to kind of build it yourself. But the easier we make it, then the better off the value proposition.
Our wealth of our businesses is in that proprietary data.
Yep.
And even the chance of it somehow being misappropriated, to train something else.
Yep.
You'd give away your that's like the
Your secret sauce.
Absolutely.
That's what your competitors would do a
The click of a
simple
button, you are...
query and find your answers.
Yeah, you
Your
suddenly
secret
find
sauce.
out all kinds of stuff that just got leaked into these models.
Totally.
So let's end this with a little fun. Pat and I had to do a thing earlier called This or That, where we would be asked what's going to be more important, private or public, and then we no nuance. We had to pick one, which makes it really hard. I'm not going to do that to you, but I'm going to make you give me a one-word answer. It's a one-word answer. I'm going to have each of you do this. I'll have you do it first, Fidelma, to describe how you feel about the near and longer-term potential of AI. So one word, how you feel about the potential of AI and why. Then you can answer with more than one word.
Excited.
And why?
Because I've been around for a long time, and finally, again, hardware engineers aren't going out of style.
Yeah.
We're not all going to go to one side of the boat or the other, and just really true infrastructure and how you run infrastructure and how you manage infrastructure is cool again. And I love building products.
Hardware's cool again.
Hardware is cool again. Hardware
I always
operators are
thought it
cool again,
was,
too.
but we just had to pull the rest of the industry alongside
Yeah,
it.
there was a period of time.
There's a period of time.
I joking. I used to write op-eds, and they were basically I was talking about writing about a certain chip company.
Yep.
They're like, nobody cares about chips anymore. It's like
But what
2020,
what's
2019. I mean,
what's
that's
on to run. It all
yeah.
runs on hardware.
totally.
Run on
totally.
air.
That's how crazy it got. And I know you
Yeah.
had some of that too, where you're
Yeah.
getting into more software and SaaS and all this stuff. And look at how the world turns. All right, what's your word?
I would have said use the same, but I'll use generational. Because
Generational.
because this is an era that times to come people will remember that how computing changed the world in every core, in non-consumer, in enterprise, everywhere that you go. This technology will change and impact everybody's life, and that's why I call it generational. We have seen internet, and we're seeing this now, and I do believe that in times to come people will understand, hey, what happened and how the world changed. What were the factors, and a lot of papers will be written. So that's how I will characterize this.
I already can't imagine my life without it.
I can't either.
Oh, I can't either.
And I mean, it's come fast. It's become deeply part of our lives quickly. And by the way, it's just starting to get good. I mean, if you really think about it, it's just starting
Useful.
to get, really useful.
Yeah.
I want to thank you both so much for joining us here. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
No, it's been great. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, everybody, for being part of this 6.5 on the road here at HPE Discover 2026. The coverage continues. Hit subscribe. Join us for everything here. We'll be right back.